Hello everyone and good evening. My name is Bianca Maldonado and I'm the Vice President of Human Resources for our company. First, I want to welcome back our new and returning managers. Today we will be discussing and reviewing employment-related law. This includes the laws you should all understand to help guide you in your managerial duties here. When it comes to employment laws, you should be aware that employment laws cover the rights and responsibilities of employers and workers. It's also important to understand which laws apply to our company specifically. Not all laws will be applied to employers. So it's my job to make you familiar with which laws apply here and to ensure you all have the tools and understanding of how they can be enforced. Today we will be discussing the Civil Rights Act of 1964, workplace discrimination, includes the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, Americans with Disability Act, Age Discrimination in Employment Act, Equal Pay Act, Pregnancy Discrimination Act, Wage and Hours, Fair Labor Standards Act, Family and Medical Leave Act, Employee Benefits, Affordable Care Act, Employee Retirement Income Security Act, Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act, Health Insurance, Portability and Accountability Act, Workplace Safety, Occupational Safety and Health Act, Office of Workers' Compensation Programs, how you can apply these to the workplace, and then questions and concerns. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Provisions of this Civil Rights Act forbade discrimination on the basis of sex, as well as race in hiring, promoting, and firing. The Act prohibited discrimination in public accommodations and federally funded programs. It also strengthened the enforcement of voting rights and the desegregation of schools. The Civil Rights Act is one of the most critical acts in our workplace because we have a zero-tolerance policy against discrimination. We respect all types of employees, and we need you to make sure that discrimination of any kind does not go unnoticed. If someone is being discriminated against, we would like you to report it immediately to HR, and we can all look into the situation together. The more open communication, the more solid our foundation can be in enforcing these laws. As we move forward, you will see how the Civil Rights Act is the main foundation for many other acts following discrimination in the workplace. Now we will be moving on to workplace discrimination laws. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is responsible for enforcing federal laws that make it illegal to discriminate against a job applicant or an employee because of the person's race, color, religion, sex, national origin, age, disability, or genetic information. The Americans with Disability Act prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities in several areas, including employment, transportation, public accommodations, communications, and access to state and local government programs and services. The Age Discrimination Act forbids age discrimination against people who are age 40 or older. It does not protect workers under the age of 40, although some states have laws that protect younger workers from age discrimination. The Equal Pay Act prohibits sex-based wage discrimination between men and women in the same establishment who perform jobs that require substantially equal skill, effort, and responsibility under similar working conditions. The Pregnancy Discrimination Act forbids discrimination based on pregnancy when it comes to any aspect of employment. This includes hiring, firing, pay, job assignments, promotions, layoff, training, fringe benefits such as leave and health insurance, and any other term or condition of employment. These acts are essential to know, especially if you have employees who have questions about their rights. You are more than welcome to send them to us at HR or provide them with these websites and resources you learn here. All these acts can be found on the eeoc.gov website, and all employees should have this information regardless in their employee handbooks. As we look forward, we get many concerns about wages and hours. This seems to be where most employees don't always understand their rights. You, the managers, must keep up to date and record their punching in and out of shifts. That way, you have a record, and we here in HR have a log as well. It is essential to have a record of everybody's times ins and outs, especially overtime pay, in case a situation arises where an employee believes they got paid incorrectly. This gives us the easy opportunity to go back and see if any mistakes were made. As for the rights, we have the Fair Labor Standards Act, which establishes minimum wage, overtime pay, record keeping, and youth employment standards affecting employees in the private sector and in federal, state, and local governments. Covered non-exempt workers are entitled to a minimum wage of not less than $7.25 per hour effective July 24th, 2009. Overtime pay at a rate not less than 1.5 times the regular rate of pay is required after 40 hours of work in a work week. The Family and Medical Leave Act entitles eligible employees of covered employers to take unpaid, job-protected leave for specified family and medical reasons, with continuation of group health insurance coverage under the same terms and conditions as if the employee had not taken leave. Eligible employees are entitled to 12 work weeks of leave in a 12-month period for the birth of a child and to care for the newborn child within 1 year of birth, the placement with the employee of a child for adoption or foster care, and to care for a newly placed child within 1 year of placement, to care for an employee's spouse, child, or parent who has a serious health condition that makes the employee unable to perform the essential functions of his or her job, any qualifying exigency arising out of the fact that employees' spouses, sons, daughters, or parents are a covered military member on covered active duty, or 26 work weeks of leave during a single 12-month period to care for a covered service member with a serious injury or illness if the eligible employee is the service member's spouse, son, daughter, parent, or next of kin. Do we have any questions so far? Moving on, we will now discuss employee benefit laws. The Affordable Care Act is a law that has 3 primary goals. Make affordable health insurance available to more people. The law provides consumers with subsidies that lower costs for households with incomes between 100% and 400% of the federal poverty level. Expand the Medicaid program to cover all adults with income below 138% of the federal poverty level. Support innovative medical care delivery methods designed to lower the cost of healthcare generally. The Employee Retirement Income Security Act is a federal law that sets minimum standards for most voluntarily established retirement and health plans in private industry to provide protection for individuals in these plans. Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act, COBRA, gives workers and families who lose their health benefits the right to choose to continue group health benefits provided by their group health plan for limited periods of time under certain circumstances such as voluntary or involuntary job loss, reduction in hours worked, transition between jobs, death, divorce, and other life events. The Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act is a federal law that required the creation of national standards to protect sensitive patient health information from being disclosed without the patient's consent or knowledge. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services issued the HIPAA privacy rule to implement the requirements of HIPAA. The HIPAA security rule protects a subset of information covered by the privacy rule. For those of you who didn't know, the privacy rule ensures that individuals' health information is properly protected while allowing the flow of health information needed to provide and promote high-quality health care and to protect the public's health and well-being. The privacy rule strikes a balance that permits important uses of information while protecting the privacy of people who seek care and healing. These laws will be necessary for employees because of the healthcare plans that our company can offer them. So please be sure to ask any questions now or before a situation arises. If you want to read more about these laws, you can find them at dol.gov. which is the U.S. Department of Labor's website. Now we're moving into workplace safety laws. These laws are important, especially in our warehouse section here at the company. It is one of our essential values, safety first. The Occupational Safety and Health Act was passed to prevent workers from being killed or seriously harmed at work. This law sets and enforces protective workplace safety and health standards. OSHA also provides information, training, and assistance to employers and workers. The Office of Workers' Compensation Programs administers 4 major disability compensation programs, which provide wage replacement benefits, medical treatment, vocational rehabilitation, and other benefits to certain workers of their dependents who experience work-related injury or occupational disease. For the managers working in the warehouses, please get familiar with the workplace safety laws. Safety for both employees and employers is the top priority, so please make sure you keep yourself, the company, and your employees safe. Now that we have an overview of what these laws entail, we can focus on applying them to the workplace and how to enforce them. The New York Times article by allbusiness.com lists 10 suggestions for implementing office guidelines and handling employee misconduct. The first is to list document office policies. These policies should be discussed and given to employees during their onboarding and training process. This will help set clear policies, rules, procedures, and regulations in their employee handbook and guide them with any questions they have at first. The next step is to set clear guidelines. This entails making sure employees understand the company's values and goals, our company's expectations, and their work performance. Next, we move on to keeping your cool. Situations will arise where you will be put into a situation to discipline employees. In situations as such, you must stay calm and have a sit-down conversation with the employee. You can also address the problem with performance management, coaching, and counseling. Ask the employee how he or she can better meet office guidelines. Setting up meetings to resolve issues and disciplining employees will benefit the company in the long run. The next thing listed is to go with your gut. This one is self-explanatory. Intuition, intuition, intuition. It's important to follow this. It may not always be correct, but it'll help in some instances. Establishing policies is listed as number 5. If a company doesn't already have specific policies, then it is your and HR's responsibility to create and develop the company guidelines. Number 6 is bringing in an HR consultant. This corresponds with number 3 because of having to keep your cool when dealing with a situation. An HR consultant can help act as a professional mediator that can diffuse emotional problems and increase office morale. Number 7 is to take bold action, which they explain as following through with the course of action you have selected when addressing performance deficiencies and misconduct. Number 8 is to treat everyone fairly. Express gratitude is number 9. Showing appreciation for your employees and motivating them is an excellent way to keep them comfortable and productive. And lastly, be loyal. When it comes to employee and employer trust, you want your employees to feel like they can trust you and come to you if a concern or problem arises. Being loyal will only create a better foundation between you and your employees. Now that we have reached the end of our presentation today, does anyone have any questions or concerns? Please remember that this information will be available to you in all employee handbooks. And if you have any concerns or questions in the future, please feel free to reach out to me or any of my HR team. If you would like a copy of this presentation and its links, send me an email to link it to you. Thank you, and I hope to see each of you thrive here. Let's go, team. And here are some extra resources. Or here are the resources listed that I used. Thank you.